Hi, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining us. So this is Choices That Make or Break Your Cloud, a webinar delivered by Boston Limited in partnership with CA Technologies. My name's Jack Watts, I'm a Cloud Solutions Specialist here at Boston Limited. I've been working with Boston for over 3 years now, and over the last year I've been working on our cloud portfolio. I'm joined with John Crespin from CA.
Hi, John Crespin. As Jack just said, I've been with CA now for 7 years, working in various parts of the business, all in around the edges, and now fully into the CA Cloud Solutions offerings.
Thank you, John. Okay, so today's agenda. So we're going to talk about the cloud market today, and of course, what it's going to mean tomorrow. We're then also going to go over the complexities and what it actually takes to deliver cloud today. We'll then talk about CA's software offering and how we actually take that Applogic software and deploy that with our Boston Business in a Box editions. We then can, of course, help you choose your start point and go over some testimonials as well. So $55 billion by 2014 is the amount the IDC expects will be spent on IT cloud services. This is, of course, quite a large number, and there is, of course, a massive opportunity that we can all cash in on, specifically in regards to this particular number. We've got 57% of technology decision makers which are actively researching or piloting cloud computing services. So are they piloting your cloud computing services? As an example of an enterprise that's taken cloud computing, so the New York Times, for example, has taken 11 million articles and converted that into PDF format in just one weekend for $240. So that gives you a massive economy of scale and just an idea of how much people are saving with cloud computing. So how does this shape up? So of course over the last few years we've been going through a bit of a global recession, which of course has reduced people's IT budgets and reduced spend in the IT industry as a whole. But with, of course, the growth in social media, mobility, of course, of staff and reducing costs on that side, big data, software as a service coming up as well, there's been a huge demand and increase on the business from the IT perspective, which has created this huge gap, which, of course, John, if you talk about the optimization here.
Yeah, I mean, filling that gap, which we've called in CA the new normal, where IT just have to fill that gap with less to do more. It's a very good opportunity also to look at the services that are being offered, how you're offering them, standardize them, a good point to start the re-engineering of your automation offering. And obviously everyone's interested in cloud. It's the way forward because of scale, cost, delivery to market. So the ability to deliver that agile cloud delivery is always high on the agenda. And also every single day we're seeing new ways to market. Bring your own device is a prime example. People have got iPads, iPhones, smartphones. We have to keep up with that because that is on the street is what people are using. It's the new normal.
So the big game changer that's coming in is for people that need to transform from maintaining technology and maintaining the services that you're offering to delivering that innovation that your customers are demanding from you.
So cloud's delivered. So what exactly makes a cloud and just how easy is it to configure and actually choose what you need to use? So just from the hardware side alone, we're looking at things like routers, gateways, super fast SANs, then you've got the servers, the firewalls and the commodity hardware that you need to actually run a cloud offering. Once you take that, of course, you'll need software. So on top of that, you're looking at web server OSs, layer 7 code, database OS, and of course management layers, customer portals, and how you actually meter and bill that out to your customers as well. So in short, this must be easier.
So yes, at CA have been working with Boston now for quite a while to say how can we make this easier for people. So we're combining the expertise that Boston have got to deliver the actual physical hardware, and we've been looking at the software and how we can combine the two. So what we've decided to use is a solution called Applogic. Basically what it's done is taking virtualization to the next level. We're moving not only just the standard approach to virtualization, which is typically images, operating systems, the application that would sit on them, but the whole infrastructure as well. We're trying to treat the infrastructure and the application as a complete single object that can be virtualized, as well as the component parts of a business service like servers, switch switchgear, load balancers, databases, that sort of thing, and the actual network. We're putting it all together in one thing. So what we've done is with Applogic, you can convert a grid of commodity x86 servers into a fully scalable offering that allows you to share those complete resources to your online business applications. And you can have, depending on the size of your grid, you can have as many instances of the same application running in different scaled up and down. It could be, for instance, with one has a couple of web servers, web application servers, another one might have 6, 10, 12, however many you want, but you can use the same particular templates and designs to scale and spread amongst all of your customers, or internally or externally. It doesn't have to be private or public, it can be hybrid. So what does this really mean? Well, obviously straight away, if we're moving more of the hardware into the software layer, significant reduction in data center footprint for hardware. We need just commodity servers. Okay, we can take those, the traditional web server and layer 7 code, etc. So I went on too fast, but we can also, as well as the traditional virtualization, we can take the traditional hardware as well. So routers, gateways, load balancers, switches, the actual network. So the hardware, all that remains now, is a set of commodity servers, and the minimum you need is the 3, which is why we've got 3 on the screen. And we've also got attached storage to those servers to provide the compute resource that's then a single entity available to all of the business applications that you want to run through Applogic. So what does that mean? Well, traditionally what we've done is an application designer, developer would take something, a tool like Visio, and would design the application. It would draw pictures on the screen, connect them up, then that would be handed over to teams like procurement, the database team, the network team. That would all have to be orchestrated in some way to get everything together, provisioned, ready, connected, tested, and then when it's all connected together, if it works, try to start developing your business application. Well, imagine that application developer being able to do that, also being able to configure on the screen each of those individual appliances, as we call them, and then press a play button, because that's exactly what Applogic does. It allows you to have that full business application, that full business service, and design it and play it all in the same place. So how does it do this? How does it manage this? Well, each appliance is a single entity within the whole business application itself. As such, can be managed individually as well as a whole unit. So what that means is we've also got very good mirroring capabilities and instant hot failover. So let's take an example where we take, in this instance, a database appliance. Okay, it's sitting on a server, and for whatever reason, either the physical server itself or the appliance goes down. There's immediately out of the box a second mirrored version of that. What that really means is that there's no interruption to service. The only thing that your customers, the users, may see is a slight response time increase, very slight, whilst that mirrored appliance is spinning up, ready to run.
So now we have the whole business application, the whole business service deployed on the software level. That includes every single component that you need to provide your service. We have the compute resource made up from the grid nodes, so that's the bandwidth, the CPU, the storage, etc. We have 2 switches, one to manage the incoming and outgoing data from the grid itself, that's the public switch, and then we have the private switch, which is the part that manages the internal connectivity between each of the components in the business service. What Applogic does when it starts up a business application, it doesn't put all of the components onto a single node. What we try to build in is ready-made resilience and hot failovers, so that if any single component in the application should fail on a hardware level, not every single component has to fall over to its mirror. So we have built-in resilience. If there should be maybe a grid node fallover, takes out maybe 1 or even 2 appliances possibly, then based on the mirroring that we've already described, then they would just start up on the mirror nodes that are within the grid, and therefore the actual business application itself isn't impacted by a single point of failure. So finally, just to display the flexibility of Applogic on the grid. We're not tied to a single hypervisor. The product comes with the CentOS Zen hypervisor out of the box, but we're also licensed and certified to use the ESXi 4. Hypervisors. Each appliance is hypermorphic, and effectively that means that it can run through either a Zen or an ESX hypervisor, but you can also specify specifically the hypervisor type that you may want a particular appliance within an application to actually run through. So what that means is that as we go through, and we're looking at also certifying other hypervisors as well, then you're not going to be restricted to a certain type of workload. It means you can, if you want to, import any VMware images and appliances that you've already got configured. They can easily run once they've been imported using an import utility that comes with the product into the grid, and they're just as then an appliance that's ready usable over and over again, just as any other single one as well.
So what we have there is synergetic cloud and scale. So we take whatever size grid, whatever size hardware, we take the software from Applogic and CA, and of course all we need to do is just cookie cutter that and create that ecosystem that can just instantly scale. I've personally been working on our cloud portfolio for the last year, and what we've actually been able to come up with is a full solution. So your hardware, your software, and back that up with support and training also. There's a hardware drag that, of course, which accumulates with cloud solution sales and any other software sale, really. And we've been able to answer that with our business in a box offering. So this actually stacks up with, of course, the expert sales and technical experience that we have here in-house at Boston. We then take our high quality and production and testing environment, which is in our production facilities located worldwide. We then also include our enterprise hardware from Supermicro, with worldwide flexible warranty support, so we can actually support any kind of server offering worldwide also. We then take pre-installed templates, so we add those in as an offering, and then add training and support on top of that as well. With these certified systems, so they're fully built and tested, and they're delivered with Applogic, so there's no more hardware worry there. We also have production capability of up to 1,000 systems per week, which offers our storage and server deployment expertise. We have a lock bill of materials, which essentially means that you're getting tried and tested hardware. And we also use the embedded longevity on those products as well, so they're available consistently for a number of years. So we have 3 editions under our business in a box range. So we have the reseller edition. This is aimed at systems integrators, managed service providers, or internet service providers, for example. We take enterprise hardware from Supermicro in terms of the commodity servers and the switch gear. We then power that with the Applogic software. Installing templates, for example, Linux 32-bit, 64-bit, Server 2008, and so on, so that people are able to instantly offer infrastructure as a service deployments. We then include on-site sales and technical training, so that sales staff are able to, of course, pitch and sell that to their customers, and the technical staff are able to spin up and, of course, maintain these services for your customers. So we're actually enabling the cloud deployments within weeks, not months. For those of you that don't actually currently have data centers, we also have hosting options available as well. Our pilot program for the reseller edition just starts at just $8,500 per quarter, and we can scale that from as little as $750 per month, which equates to just $23.44 per customer, or per CPU, if you like. We then also have the ISV edition, which is aimed at all types of software vendors. We again take those parts as we have in the reseller edition there, but then we assist with application implementation, so how to actually get your application into the Applogic system and actually be able to scale that with cloud. So you can, of course, start with a development system and then move that to a production system as and when you need, develop and tweak and tune your software as required, and then migrate that to your production system so your customers can use that. Then offer future training courses as well for template development to make sure that you're using all features available within CA's Applogic. Again, our pilot programs are very cost effective at just just less than $9,500 per quarter, and again, a very attractive scale package there. The last and final edition was the Enterprise Edition, again aimed at all types of small to large enterprises. Similarly to the ISV edition, we actually assist with the infrastructure implementations. We look at what you currently have and assist you with actually making that into a cloud service offering. And then we can also offer, of course, training for high availability and site replication, because of course we all know that if one of your sites is down, then that can potentially start costing you money. Again, pilot programs are very cost effective and very cost efficient in terms of the scaling. So where can you start? So please engage with us, and we can start with the pilot programs quite simply. Again, starting at just $8,500 per rental per quarter. We can offer longer rental options as well if people want to have a longer proof of concept. And the scale packages, again, very, very cost effective. For 32 cores, X amount of memory and storage as well, very low leasing cost. Or of course, if you have the investment capital available, you can also, of course, have a purchase option. Also, future training packages in terms of how to increase your margin or service delivery, either internally as an IT department or externally to your customers and enterprises. So we have a number of online web resources. I'll send out the links to everyone that's attended, of course, in the information pack later today. So you'll receive information on Applogic, so via video tutorials and technical details, and also who is using Applogic. Then it have, of course, our Business in a Box pages, which explains exactly what comes in the box and technical details on those. We also have CA partner pages as well, which include white papers on cloud and also for some more information and food for thought there. So we're just now going to go over some case studies that we've had. So DNS Europe was one of our an actual Boston customer. So they've been increasing margin and their time to market. They've actually been using Applogic for 4+ years now, and have actually had 60 plus servers deployed with Boston. So they have rental agreements which enable low capex development costs. So they don't actually have to purchase hardware to actually get their customers up and running. They wait until they've actually got enough cash in the bank, if you like, before they actually look to purchase the system. So again, very quickly and very cost effective in that way. They've actually got call-off systems in our facilities as well, so that they can instantly call us and ask for a weekly deployment as well. So we can instantly start scaling their systems very quickly.
Okay, we also have very successful working relationship with International Gaming Technologies. So who are they? Well, they basically own 80% of the Las Vegas Strip. And what they were looking for was the ability to build new business and deliver upgrades to the market. So what does that mean in their market? That means basically new games going to slot machines. What was the traditional one-on bandits are now computerized video games where people feed the money in and they press the buttons. And what they're now able to do is look at the usage of the different types of games, see which ones are successful, which ones are underutilized, and rather than having to go on site previously to either perform upgrades to the games or change the games completely that are being shown on a particular machine, they can now do that all remotely. Previously, they had to send somebody on site. So if you've got a big casino in Vegas, for instance, where you've got thousands of slot machines, okay, they needed a team of guys to go in, and it would take hours to upgrade. Now, all they do is they'll take down the equivalent of an Applogic application, patch it, spin it up again, ready within minutes. And they can do that for as many or as few machines that they want. Previously, this was all done manually on site. So a huge acceleration in their time to market, massively reduced cost. And now what they've done is also extended from the traditional casino market out to a new market where it's in the US especially, a lot of machines you find in convenience stores and retail outlets. And they're now encroaching into that. They're taking that market where they don't have to worry about managing. It's a straight local network connection. They can manage everything centrally. We also have Logicalis. This is a service provider in IT solutions and services. We worked a lot with them. Their prime driver is to try and reduce cost, increase their margin. What they've done is been able to deliver data center, huge reductions in data center based on using the Applogic model, where they significantly reduced the hardware footprint. They increase the speed to market, the adaptability, the flexibility, the elasticity. And in the example under the benefits section there, one customer avoided a $3.8 million data center cost increase, purely on the fact that Logicalis could deliver the sort of business solution and flexibility that we've been talking about.